Hey everybody, this is Mark from We Talk Art. I am in Seattle, Washington, and for the next couple days, I'm going to be attending the National Art Materials Trade Show, Creativations. This is a business-to-business trade show where the art material industry, the craft industry, and distributors get together to show off their latest and greatest. This is not an open to the public kind of trade show where the art material industry is talking to retailers, but we got a press pass. So I'm going to be able to get you in and show you what they all are going to be showing, talking to them about their product lines, and seeing some demos. Should be a good show. Stay tuned. Let's roll the intro and get into it. Okay, we made it in on the show floor. I've been to a few of these, like 8 or 9 of them, and my general tack, because it's such a big thing, is that I like to walk the floor and see where everything is, and if there's anybody doing a demo or something, I might jump in. But I'm going to take you along a little bit for the ride, so buckle up, we're going for a ride. I'm here in the booth of a fairly new product, Stoneground Paints, and they have a line of watercolors and gouache, and we're going to talk to Russell here, and he's going to tell us about this line.
Hi, I'm Russell Clark of Stoneground Paint Co, and we are here in Seattle showing off our handmade watercolor and gouache paint that we make by hand up in Canada. We use honey to preserve our paint. We've got bright, beautiful, pure color. We've got 111 colors in our watercolor lineup, 76 in our gouache, and we're full of just possibilities of mixing color with our single pigments. We're really proud to make our paint with honey, so we skip all the additives, the fillers, and we're essentially providing artists with the purest color we can and let the possibilities go from there.
I've seen your products, I've heard of them, I know.
Okay, we are in Legion Paper's booth. They have new panels that you should check out. If you like to paint, watercolor, or do anything on a panel, you're going to like this a lot.
Hi there, so we are in the Legion Paper booth and we are showing our new Legion Artist panels. So a Legion Artist panel is 5 of our premium papers. There's Yupo, Stonehenge, Stonehenge Aqua, Stonehenge Aqua Black, and Stonehenge Oil. 5 of the premium papers that we mounted to an aluminum substrate. It's very lightweight. It's only about an 1/8 of an inch thick, so it's portable with rounded corners so it doesn't snag on anything. It has a really cool modern brushed aluminum back that can also be used as a surface, but of course we want you to use the paper side. And so these are designed for the artist on the go and the artist in the studio. The artist on the go, the plein air artist, doesn't have to worry about taping any of their paper down onto a board or to an easel. They can actually just lean it up against something or work in their hand as a kind of a palette. And the artist in the studio is the same way. You don't have to tape it down, but you can also put it on your easel and you can move it around into your studio, into the preferred location. What's really cool about this is that when you're done with it, it's ready to frame or ready to give away as a gift. You can get little clips that clip right on the back and you can just pop it on the wall, or these are all sized for the ready-made frame, so you can go into your store, pop it into a frame, put it on the wall, and you're ready to go. So the sizes come in 6 sizes. There's 5x7, 6x6, 8x10, 12x16, 16x20, and the newest size, which is the big behemoth, is a 24x30.
Good morning.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Marianne from Marvelous Marianne's, and she's going to explain to you why she has a really great product.
Hi, I'm Marianne. I'm an inventor. I invented 2 products that are good for artists. The first one is a brush and hand cleaner made from corn oil, because mineral oil can dry out your skin. And then I also make a barrier cream, which you use before you start working. It'll help clean up from pastels and inks and things like that. One of my first customers was Crown Point Press over 25 years ago, and they use this as well as the brush cleaner. I really like the idea of making products for artists that are multi-purpose. So the Savvy soap you can use on oil paint, acrylic paint, pastels, printer's ink, as well as it'll take spots out of your clothing, and you could even wash the dog with it if you had to. And the barrier cream, that also works as a barrier towards things like poison oak and ivy. It's all written on the labels. So I hope you will purchase my products from retailers, because I sell to retailers, not direct, because retailers employ people, and you're artists and you're working for yourselves. And I thank you so much. You take care. Bye now.
Okay, we are at New Wave, and they have some amazing plein air palettes. I need to have Kyle here is going to show you them.
Hey everybody, Kyle from New Wave Art. So we designed these Yugo Pochade boxes about, I guess about 8-9 years ago. We make them all in Pennsylvania. These are the lightest, most compact Pochade boxes on the market. They're extremely thin, but so basically the Pochade box is 1 1/4 inches thin. Very sleek. You don't have any wing nuts or anything. Everything is magnetic. It has a friction hinge, so when you open the Pochade box up, it stays open, but you don't have any wing nuts that'll catch onto your bag. So everything's very sleek and compact. The hinges, which are very important, you can open and close these 1,000,000 times, and it won't strip because you have steel plates that the hinge is connected to. This large box weighs 3.2 pounds. We have a medium size which weighs 2.6 pounds, and then the small is 1.8 pounds. Basically how it works is you have all the tracks are magnetic. So if you're painting large, you just move your track system up through the magnets. If you're painting something smaller, you slide your track system down. So we route these areas out. If you're looking at those areas and wondering what they're for, it reduces weight, but also when you close your Pochade box, if you have paint dabs on your palette that goes up and beyond your lip, your paint dabs fit in these grooves. So your paint dabs aren't going to squish against your lid. Another cool feature is the removable sidewall. So it's all magnetic, pops on and off. You can slide your palette in and out to either clean your palette, or if you want to upgrade your palette to a gray acrylic or some sort of glass, gray glass, clear glass. We sell those as well, but it allows you to easily access your palette. So you slide that in, pop your sidewall back on. Your side tray, it's all magnetic. So your side tray, it's a brush holder, or you can store your medium cups on it, or your phone, whatever you take out plein air painting. But it just magnetically attaches to the steel and then slides on your side. So you can do one or you can do two. Most times somebody buys at least one side tray with the Pochade box. The tripod itself, extremely lightweight tripod, but very sturdy. It's called the LCS1, which stands for lightweight, compact, and sturdy. Compacts down to 13.8 inches, and then it weighs 2.8 pounds, and it holds up to 26 pounds, so extremely sturdy. But because this setup is so lightweight, we always recommend hanging your pack on the weight hook, just to add some weight towards the ground, to add stability, since this is such a lightweight setup. But yeah, perfect for travel. Stows away really easily, and I think you'd love it.
So I'm in luxury brands where they deal with a lot of different products, but a lot of fountain pens and specialty pens, and they have a new pen that Bryce is going to demo for us.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Bryce Gillette from Luxury Brands here. Mark and I wanted to talk to you guys about the new Colorverse Shuttle Dip Pen. Comes in brass and aluminum, large and small. I have the brass small version here, but what's really cool about it, you just simply dip it in any fountain pen ink of your choice, and you can write with it up to multiple paragraphs. What's really cool is that depending on how vertically or horizontally you hold the pen will depend on how the line variation works. So you can use it for swatching, you can use it for line work, you can use it for really anything. And it's a really cool new product from Colorverse called the Shuttle Dip Pen.
So this is a subset of the Daniel Smith watercolor line. It's called the Primitive Technology, and it's made from natural minerals. And we take the natural minerals and we process those down to less than 40 microns through a number of steps. And from that, the pigment is used to make watercolor paint. The unique thing about the Primitech series is the amount of granulation. The natural granulation is something which is really liked by artists. And you can see some are very granulating, some are more, some are less. But you get a wide diversity of colors and saturation and granulation.
Okay, I'm back in the Daniel Smith booth because they have a really cool product that you got to know about. If you're a watercolorist, you should see these. Scott's going to talk about the Daniel Smith watercolor sticks. Great product.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Scott Stevenson. I am a brand ambassador for Daniel Smith, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Daniel Smith watercolor sticks. So just to give you a little bit of background about what's so great about these is literally you're talking about a stick of pigment with gum arabic only. So what you have here is a really, really concentrated stick of watercolor. And what's really great about these is if you've ever taken tubes of paint on an airplane, you know how much fun that is when you land, because in case you don't know or haven't had the pleasure, basically you go way up in the airplane and then all of this pressure builds up in your tubes, and then when you get to where you're going, you take the cap off and then you hear this pop and then you got paint everywhere. So what's really nice about these sticks is that they travel well and they're dry. And then when you get to where you're going, there's several different ways you can use these. You can take them and scrape them into a palette. You can cut them up and put them into a half pan. Or my favorite way to use these is to take the sticks and put them between your fingers like so, and get your brush and pull the paint directly from the sticks and then go to your paper. So first thing to know is that these are really not designed to be a drawing material. Like I mentioned before, it's just the pigment and the gum arabic. So what's the nature of gum arabic? So we know that gum arabic is a type of sap. So it actually comes from the acacia tree. So when you glide this across a sheet of watercolor paper, it feels very dry and sticky, and that's because that it's just the pigment in the gum arabic. So these have a remarkable amount of pigment in them. Each stick has the same amount of pigment as a 15 mil tube of paint. And to top it all off, they are even less at MSRP than our Series 1 colors in 15 mil. So they're not only a tremendous value, they're a great tool, and they travel well. Great 62 colors available in all, ranging in our popular colors. We have Primitech colors, we have iridescent colors, and they're just a fantastic value.
And you have sets now.
And then we have sets. We have 4 different sets looking like this. We have them in aquatic. We have them in a secondary set. We have a core mixing set. And then we have my favorite, the granulating power set, which has all of our granulating colors like green apatite, sodalite, and a few others that are super granulating.
Okay, I'm in the Daniel Smith booth again, and I'm talking to Ashley, who's a brand ambassador for Daniel Smith. She's here painting, has her own palette on dot cards, and more on the watercolor sticks. So we're going to talk to Ashley here.
Awesome. So I have my own Daniel Smith dot card. This is my pet portrait palette. It has 18 of my favorite pet portrait colors. So this was curated after about 3 years of doing pet. I know this isn't a pet, but doing pet portraits. I do a lot of commissions and I teach, and I keep a record of all the colors that I'm using in each pet portrait. And so when Daniel Smith asked me to choose 18 colors, I already had an entire archive of the colors I've been using over the past couple of years. And so it was really easy to come up with these colors. So I've got a lot of earth tones here, as you can see. This one's already swatched out. But I also do have 3 primaries on here. So I've got nickel, azo yellow, quinacridone red, and ultramarine blue. And those are I can make any color out of those 3 primaries. So every color on here has a purpose. For example, I've got kind of my pink row. This color is great for tongues. I do a lot of that. Pink ears and noses. I do a lot of dogs and cats. This is great to mix with burnt umber for like brindle fur. And this color specifically is great for the eye highlights that reflect the sky. So every color on here has a purpose. And now all of my students use these colors as they paint pets as well.
Do you have that palette available online so people can see it, or can they get the dot cards?
They can get the dot card. I have them on my website. You can order it and you just pay shipping, and I send it out with a little, some stickers, a little goodie bag, happy mail. So you can get that on my website. These are the Daniel Smith watercolor sticks, and they are such a hidden gem in the watercolor world. And the way that I like to use them the most, here's my sad little neutral tint stick. I have had this stick for 2 years now, and you can kind of see compared to, here's a brand new stick. They last forever. I call these the everlasting gobstoppers of watercolor because they never run out. And this one in particular, neutral tint, I use for eyes, noses, anything that requires black. And the way that I use it is with my little detail brush. And if you look closely, there is a little crater in the middle because I use it with my little detail brush, and I can get a lot of pigment really quickly so that I can do those details. So these are just fantastic. It's very convenient as I'm working to just hold it in my hand and work just like this. I'm not going back and forth from a palette. I'm right-handed. I keep my palette over here. So this is just so convenient for me to do. And then I also use the sticks in this way. So I like to wet a brush, and these activate so fast. It's like an immediate color payout. Look at this. Immediate results. So pigmented. Look at that. And if you're somebody who likes splatter, you can get that amazing splatter effect. And then my final favorite way is once it's wet, I can add texture this way. They are so fantastic.
Where do you teach classes?
I teach online, so I have a website. You can sign up. I private teach, so one-on-one with me, accountability. We dig deep, we overcome our fear, and it's really great. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, I am at KraftGeek, and they have the coolest plein air tripod I've seen. I'm going to have this demoed for you. Just one sec.
All right, so my name is Jocelyn. I'm going to show you the demo. First, you can open up like this. You pull this one in the back. Make sure to lock it in the bottom. And then you pull the legs, pull, lock, and then pull, twist, lock, pull, twist, and lock. And that's how it looks. You can obviously pull this out for your canvas, and then also pull this out to adjust the height. And that's how it looks.
Awesome.
And then to put it away, it's really easy too. It takes less than a minute.
Here at day 2 of this event, and I'm in front of Vinci brush, which makes a variety of really great brushes. I really like the watercolor brushes, but they have a new line of micro brushes that Joe's going to tell us about.
So the super cool thing right now that we've seen, Mark, is that the miniature painting for the miniature gamers and those types of folks, it's been very, very exciting because it's blossoming. And so with these miniature paintings, what we've done is we've created a line of our Maestro, which is our Kolinsky Sable brushes, as small as a 20-aught brush. I'll hold it up against something so you can take a good look at it. So a 20-aught brush, it's got a total of 5 fibers in it. So it's just a very, very tiny brush. But also along with that, we've got pure Kolinsky that's going to be an extra long fiber brush. Same series, and these are going to be in that $40 price range. We've also got our synthetic Kolinsky brush. that's called our Calaneo.
Those were introduced a couple years back, right?
These were introduced a couple years back as a watercolor brush. We also have a long-handled oil brush and acrylic brush as well. That's coming out, came out about a year and a half ago. But the micro scene is really cool. So again, look for your dealers to try and find some more miniature micro brushes. It's phenomenal.
Thanks, Joe.
So, you bet.
Okay, I'm in the Speedball booth, and John's going to tell us a little bit about some new screen printing options they're offering.
First up, we have our new DIY screen printing starter kit, which has everything you need to do a screen printing project from start to finish. It includes a tube of black ink, a couple pre-made templates that can be used to print with, as well as a cloth tote that you can print on, so you can have everything you need. It also has a squeegee in it. Everything you need to do a project from start to finish without having to do a lot of cleanup and a lot of setup. We also have a new complete photo motion kit, which it's like our advanced all-in-one kit, but a few less items in it, but still has everything you need to get started with a traditional diazo, full screen, our new LED exposure light, and also our Flex screen printing ink, which we also have in some small sample kits. The Flex ink is perfect for if you're printing on black fabric or the kind of new popular real stretchy fabrics. It has a lot more opacity, a lot more stretch than our core inks. It is great for that. Yeah, so we also sell these speed screens in a larger size that you can use to kind of quickly make a screen. You can either you can put it inside of a frame, or you can just cut up pieces as needed and squeegee the ink through. And with the new LED light, those only require 1 minute exposure rather than 7 or 8 minutes with a typical light.
I'm José Vieira, and I work at Viarco, the Portuguese pencil factory that produces also the art graph materials. Yeah? Okay, so basically what we developed was a drawing and painting system, ephemeras, something that you can come, that you can use to play, knowing that everything that you are doing here, in the end, supposedly, it will be erased. Anyway, allows you to draw. You can come with a pencil, but when you put water on it, you change everything, it becomes like soluble. So, and you can actually move all the surface if you have something that it's wet, So, water changes the process and allows you, once again, to play with water, something like this. If I spray it, and if I come with the squeegee, I will remove the wet areas, and I will keep the dry areas. Or I can pick up in a sponge. I'm using the Taylor's, that it's a product of Viarco. And this also can change everything. So the materials start to mix with each other, the graphite, the pigment, and then you can clean it and eventually restart with something else. It's about experimentation,
Colors really vivid.
Yes, because if you have good colors, if you have vibrant things, and suddenly can generate, things. I think that is something that artists and non-artists be able to use it in many different ways, just for the fun, as a warm-up, as something that you can meditate, relaxing, special education where sometimes you don't have the skills or the capacity to grab, you know, because once again it's only water and you can start and restart again.
What are you going to call these?
We call them doodler.
And you said 6 weeks?
6 weeks. You see, I think this is very intuitive. If you don't lose the capacity, you know, or the curiosity to see what happens if, you know, if you touch, with a paper, with a brush, with a sponge, with a pen, so it's kind of hypnotic. I don't know.
Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Okay, I'm in the very popular Copic booth. So we're going to talk here and they're going to show you some new acrylic markers. And what is your name?
I'm Stephanie.
Stephanie's going to talk and tell you about new acrylic markers.
Okay, so here I am. My name is Stephanie. I'm working for Copic today, and we're talking about the Copic Acrea, which is our new water-based acrylic marker. We only have 24 colors, but we are releasing more colors later this year. They are really opaque, so you can even draw black and then top it off with some white, and it'll work just fine. Thank you.
Okay, I am here with Michael Harding, who makes some especially great paints, and he's going to talk about it. He has a new medium that I think you're going to be interested in hearing about.
Hi, I'm Michael Harding. As you can see, I'm here with some of my products. I have my traditional oil range, and I have my fairly recently launched watercolor range. What makes it significant as the both ranges, we go for maximum pigmentation. We have unusual and exotic colors like genuine lapis lazuli from Afghanistan. This is the real deal. Excitingly, we have this, which is our new miracle medium. I call it miracle medium, and it's trademarked because it is a miracle for artists. 100% vegan, 100% biodegradable, 100% non-toxic. And if you smell it, and I know this is smell-o-vision for you guys there, it's virtually odorless, completely non-toxic. If you drank it, you'd know because it tastes disgusting. But if you did drink it, a substantial amount, my toxicologists say just keep an eye on the person. I won't say it's edible, but it tastes vile anyway, so you'd know if you drunk it and you spit it out. And it's a diluent for the paint. It can be for cleaning, or it can be as a medium to add into the paint. We also found that it dissolves damar, so we make a number of other additional miracle mediums from it. So anywhere you have turpentine, it can be replaced by this guy. It's fantastic stuff, and as I say, it's odorless. If you had a screwed up piece of newspaper on fire, and you poured this over the top, it actually puts it out. So you can see now why we call it miracle medium. Artists love it. So even if you were just cleaning up with it, you'd see a difference. No headaches in the studio, so it's great stuff.
How's your watercolor doing?
Watercolors sells incredibly well, not just in the United States. I mean, you can probably tell from my accent I'm from the UK. I've been making paint over 40 years. We recently launched 40 new colours in the oils to celebrate the 40 years that I've been making paint. Some of you probably know me of old. I supply everyone from David Hockney to Howard Hodgkin when he was alive. Even Lucien Freud used to take some of my paints. Anyone who tries my paint tends to get addicted, so I have to caution you. If there is any health warning that should be on the tube, it should be the word addictive.
Okay, I'm in the Staedtler booth. They make a huge variety of really high quality products, and they have a new pen line, and Sandy here is going to tell us a little bit about that.
All right, these are the Staedtler Pigment Arts pens. They're brush pens, and they come in 60 colors now, which is cool. They are a little different formulation from the normal watercolor marker. Normally, you color with a marker and you add water to it, and that's all you can really do. And with these pens, they work like a regular watercolor marker while the ink is fresh. But if you go to some ink that is not fresh, I'll clean off my brush here, like this was painted a while ago, this gray, so it's dry and nothing happens to it. So it dries permanent. But if you decide later that you want to actually do some blending with it, you can go in with this blending solution. I've put mine into a pen, and I can go along that and blend it and get the color to come out from it. So you can reactivate it with this solution, which gives you options for layering all different kinds of things. We were doing bookmarks, and this particular one shows I drew the line in the markers first, let that dry, and then I painted water for these leaves over top, and that line didn't move because I was using water. So you can do your underdrawing with these pens, let that dry, and do all kinds of crazy stuff with water on top, layer things, let that dry, layer some more. They give you a lot of different options as an artist to be able to use these pens.
And that is looking really amazing, by the way.
Thank you. My Bob Ross big tree.
Yeah,
it's very big tree.
Yeah, very nice green marker. Thank you, Sandy. Okay, I'm in the Aitoh booth, and they have a large variety of products that they get from, you import them, right? Yeah, right. And just some amazing stuff. So we're going to be looking at some boards that are a traditional surface, but you can put non-traditional stuff on it. So that's the point we want to make. So I'm going to have Beth talk about that.
Hi, my name is Beth. I own Aitoh. One of the things that we've discovered is just the wonder and the beauty of shikishi boards. Shikishi boards are a traditional surface in Japan. They didn't use canvas and things like that. It's a hard board, okay? It has up to, right now, we have 5 different surfaces. We have Ahosha, which is smooth, Gason, which has a small laid line, Toronoko, which is an off-white, gold, and silver. But the cool thing about it is I gave these to an artist friend of mine, and he's been going crazy because you can do watercolor on them. You can do pen and ink. This is charcoal. This is colored pencil. That's pen and ink. This is oil. You know, just a myriad of different media, almost any media, not to mention collage. On the boards, they stay really, really great. They have a beautiful, beautiful gold border on them, if you look really closely. And it's an alternative to any other kind of surface. If you like a canvas panel, this is is smooth. The retail price is $5.50. You get 2 boards. It's affordable. It looks beautiful. You can float frame it to sell your work.
Light.
Exactly. All of those kinds of really great things. If you see them in the store, you'll see the reminders of all the different things you can do on the boards. So check it out. Try it. We've got them from an A6 size, which is over 12 and a half by almost 16 and a quarter, all the way down to little teeny tiny ones.
And these really cool panoramic ones.
Yeah, those are called tenzaku. Okay, and so tenzaku is just, that's what they are. That's that shape in Japan, tenzaku. And we're looking at bringing in a black one as well. So it'll be a black surface for those of you that like to work in interference and white and things like that. It's a whole new world out there, so check them out. My friend Gary Simmons, he's an artist out of Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Okay.
Beth, this artist would like to talk to you.
Hey, I have a kind of a unique product here for you. It's a molding material that is kind of unique. I'm going to have Jen describe it to you. It can be used for fine art, jewelry, accents. It's very versatile. Might be something you might be interested in. So Jen's going to tell you a little bit about it. And
hey, I'm Jen with FTC Creative. We are the U.S. official Jesmonite hub for the U.S. I already said that, but we're here talking about Jesmonite AC100. Jesmonite is a brand name. It's been around for over 40 years. It's a UK-based product. There are many products that fall underneath the Jesmonite name. Today we're going to be talking about the AC100, which is our eco-resin. It's solvent-free, low VOC, water-based, and fast setting. So from the time we pour this to the time we're demolding is about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on your ambient air temperature and some other factors. Jesmonite we call the chameleon material because it can mimic the texture of nearly anything. It is a fine material, and it's used by crafters for things like this, up to really fine art installations, interior design elements, It started off as an industrial product, so it's been tried and true tested. It is AS-Team Class A fire rated, and you can paint on it. These are some new markers that are being displayed here at another show in the booth. And yesterday or 2 days ago, we had a class. Everyone started off with a little sample kit that was like this. An hour later, everyone walked out with their little tiny finished pot. It is a really fun product, water-based, easy to clean up, and just all around pretty great. For crafters, for architects, and for fine artists, I would really encourage the fine artists to go to the Jesmonite Japan Instagram. They have beautiful art installations, all created with Jesmonite, and I would highly recommend checking them out as well.
And you have a pigment Staedtler too.
Oh, yes, yes. We have all kinds of pigments, water-based. These are our neutral pigments. We also have very vibrant, bright pigments. We have a line of powder pigments that are all our neon pigments. Again, water-based, easy to use, and our black is amazing. It's a great pigment, especially.
I'm here with Missy in the POSCA booth, and we're going to talk about their new products.
All right, so we have 3 new shades that we have available coming this summer. We have the yellow shade, green shade, and the purple shade. The green shade has 2 new open stock colors available, which is the grape green and the forest green. We also have the 4-count neon set right here. These are existing colors, but now offering it in a set. And then over here, we have our new nib size, which is the brush, and it's similar to the 5M. The 5M has a bullet. This has a brush tip. Give me this for a little bit of that. It is a reversible tip, very durable. It does a 1 to 4 millimeter line. It's going to be available in an 8-count set, 16-count set, and 16 open stock colors.
Yeah, well, we're Natural Earth Paint, and the whole company is based on natural earth and mineral pigments and plant-based binders. So that's what all of our products started as. And the first one, we're going to talk about the natural acrylic paint. And the fluid version just came out in November. This is the heavy body in the tubes. But these are different because they are a plant-based binder instead of petroleum-based. And we worked on the formulation for about 7 years to replace all of the carcinogenic and hormone-disrupting additives that are in normal acrylic paint. So that was the biggest part, is replacing those additives with bio-based additives. And so that's what took so long. But now we have this great product that behaves just like conventional acrylic paint, and you can mix it with acrylic paint, regular acrylic paint. And it's mostly earth and mineral pigments that color it, but we do use some non-toxic synthetic colors to get the bright, like scarlet red, magenta, lots of the bright colors. And we have 20 colors right now. We're always adding new ones. We have a couple micas, copper, gold, and silver. So you can see that they're slightly different sheens based on the pigment, but yeah, this is the color range that we're starting with. Do you have any questions on that so far? Okay, great. So yeah, over here we'll go to the other fine art. So we're a big proponent of mixing your own paint like the old masters did, just to avoid having a preservative and just to have more pure paint that doesn't have fillers and additives and anything toxic. So this is a make your own gesso kit. So it's basically a replica of the gesso used in the Renaissance, except for we replace the rabbit skin glue with methyl cellulose glue, so a plant-based glue. It's basically the same thing. And then make your own watercolor paint, professional grade watercolor paint. So it has the earth pigments, the gum arabic, and everything you need to mix up your own watercolor and put it in the little pans. Make your own oil paint. So this has the earth and mineral pigments, walnut oil to mix with it to make oil paint, and EcoSolve, which is a really cool product. This is our replacement for paint thinner. This is 100% plant-based, non-toxic paint thinner. It behaves just like any solvent or turpentine. but totally non-toxic, and you can paint with it and clean your brushes, restore your brushes. So that comes in a few sizes. And then the varnish, this is another one I'm really proud of. It took us many years to formulate, but this, I believe, is the only plant-based, non-toxic natural varnish out there, and it works great. It's just a quality, it dries crystal clear even though it looks yellow, but it's a great product for paintings. And the acrylic medium is also good to use with the acrylics, so it could be used for collage glue or anything that you would use a gloss medium for. And we're coming out with a texture modeling paste and a matte medium in the next year too. So, and then here's just the pigment. We have 20 different earth and mineral pigments and micas, and our website has about 40 recipes of different art supplies that you can make using the pigments. So if you want to make encaustics or pastels or house paint or whatever, all the recipes are on there, and it's naturalearthpaint.com. So that's about it for the fine art supplies.
I am in the Golden Artist Color booth. They acquired Pan Pastel about a year ago, 2 years ago, and they added some new colors. So I'm here with Drew, and he's going to tell us about those new colors.
All right, thank you. So we've got 53 new colors to the Pan Pastel line. We are discontinuing 3 of them, so all in all, you're getting 50 brand new colors added to your local art store, hopefully. You can see this is going to be our whole line of 144 colors. Quick breakdown of what that might look like for a lot of the colors. We've got different values. So you've got a pure color, a shade, an extra dark, and then a medium value, a light value, and a tint. So we wanted to fill in some of the gaps in a lot of the existing colors so that blending and mixing colors can be made a little bit easier for you and expand on some of your artwork.
Hey, I'm in this great company's booth, this Lineco. They make all kinds of products to help you bookbind, just about anything. If you do art, you need to know about this company. They have a new product for backing your art. It'd be great for framing, but also for your prints. So I'm going to have John talk to you.
Hi there. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about a new board that we've come out with, which is a 2.62/16 mounting board that replaces, in most cases, the need for archival grade foam or acid-free foam board. This board is stiff and has the same characteristics of a foam core. However, what it is able to do after you cut it and you have all that waste, it's fully recyclable. Oops.
And it flies.
And it flies. You really need to touch this board to understand what it's like. And the other great thing about this is, at this size, it replaces the need to stock both 1/8 and 3/16.
So I'm in the Newell booth, and they do Prismacolor, they do Sharpie, they do Papermate. Who else do they do? They do all kinds. Elmer's and Exacto. And I have Kylie here, and she's going to tell us about a new paint marker they're working on, or actually it's out for sale, and they have some new colors. So here we go.
All right, so these are the new Sharpie Creative markers. They are a water-based acrylic paint pen-like marker. So we've got 2 tip types. This first one is the brush tip. So it's going to work a little bit more like a paintbrush. A little bit smaller, a little bit easier to flow. And then we also have the bullet tip. So this one is a little bit more like a normal marker nib, and you get a little bit more control with the marker.
A bigger barrel.
A little bit of a bigger barrel, so a little bit more ink, yes. And then we have 12 primary colors that we came out with last year. They're super vibrant, and they are going to pop on both white and black paper, as you can see. So your 12 primary colors with the black and a white, and then we also have the new earth tones that we just came out with. So these are a little bit more pastel looking. They're great for drawing landscapes. We finally came out with a brown color so we can draw those tree trunks. A couple more blues so we can get more dimension in our oceans. So yeah, a lot of great colors, 24 total, and more to come, and more tip sizes to come too.
I'm in the Royal Talens booth, and Royal Talens makes a lot of very innovative products, and so I'm going to talk to Jeff, and he's going to show you a few of those. Really love this company. I think they make some really top-notch products at a really affordable price. So Jeff's going to show you some of the stuff that they're working on.
My name is Jeff Olson. I'm the Art Education Director for Royal Talens North America, and today I have some fun materials to show you, ones that you're probably familiar with but didn't know had a shared history. That includes gouache. This is our designer gouache from Talens brand. And then of course our Rembrandt pastels, which have been tried and true for many pastel artists for many years. Both pastel and gouache have their names from the same country, France, in the 18th century. Prior to that, completely different. So gouache was always known as opaque watercolor until the 18th century when the French started calling it gouache based on the Italian word guazzo. Guazzo was a word for puddle or pool of water. And then pastels were always referred to as creta or crêne, and then the French gave them their name pastel because of their tinted range of colors, and that's kind of stuck. Our understanding of pastel as this light, tinted color range all comes from the French. And pastel and gouache were used simultaneously in combination by many artists at that period. It was all the rage in the salons of Paris, for example, to get your portrait done. And the way artists would start is to put gouache down first and create their composition, their values, their tones, and then finish the drawing or the painting in the pastel. And what I've done here really quickly is just to paint some rectangles using gouache, just one coat of the gouache, and then folks have been drawing a pear over the top of the surface. It creates a really wonderful tooth, the gouache. It has that unique kind of matte surface. The pastel clings to it really well. Compositionally, they're almost identical. One's just in a fluid form, one in a solid form. So they are great partners in crime, if you will, in terms of creating original works of art. So two materials that a lot of folks are familiar with, but don't really think about combining them into one. A couple other things that we have that are new are some additions to the Talens Art Creation sketchbook line. Now these have been super popular. There are Instagram groups popping up all over the world where folks are decorating the covers of their books or creating really wonderful compositions in mixed media internally. This is the new Art Deco, and then this fun one is a corkback one, which really makes it fun to explore decorating or creating original compositions right on the cover of the page. It's a 90-pound paper, so it's really good for both dry and wet media. I wouldn't call it a mixed media paper per se. You can't add a lot of water to it, but you can get away with some watercolor and markers really well on this paper. So it's really versatile. Another thing that's new, I don't know if you can see in the camera real well, most of the Talens Art Creation pads have a buff paper. These new ones have a bright white surface. So that might be exciting for some folks who really like to start with that bright white surface. So these are really fun additions to an already really popular line.
Pen and ink works really good.
Pen and ink's really good, yeah. The Eco line, liquid watercolor markers are fantastic on this. They dry so quickly. Same with the Pantone markers. They dry so quickly you can just sketch, close up, and go. It's fun.
I'm in the Jacquard booth. Jacquard's been one of our favorite brands. They have so many unique products, fun. Some of it is craft, but they have stuff that integrates fine art really well. We're talking to Alex. He's been part of this group for a long time. He's done demos for us and all kinds of stuff. Great guy. So he's going to show us some of the new things he's working on.
Hi, I want to tell you today about our ice dyes. Ice dyeing is really popular right now. You use Procyon MX dye like you would with tie dyeing traditionally, but instead after you fold and soak your shirt in soda ash, you put ice over it and drizzle the dry dye over the ice, and as the ice melts, it dyes the fabric. The cool thing about it, because you do it at such a low temperature, the colors split out and you see the components of any mixed color. So normally you would mix two colors that have a similar strike rate so that you get one color, a nice consistent color from a mixture. We did the opposite here. We actually we mixed all the fast colors with the slow colors, and that makes them split up more than ever. So this is a jade color that actually splits into blue and yellow. This is a dark gray that splits into orange and blue. So you can see the blue is very slow and the orange is very fast. And in the middle, they mix and make a gray. And then this is our black opal. This one looks different every time you do it. There are 10 different components here, and the tighter you make your folds, the more the colors split out. So this is a big trend right now, and we really like how you could get to see all the great color components in these mixtures. This is Dorland's wax medium. This used to be an oil painting medium, but almost nobody uses it for that anymore. Everybody is using this as a waterproofer for watercolor. So you put a very thin layer on with like a microfiber cloth, and you just make a coating almost like you're putting chapstick over the painting. And you can literally pour a glass of water over it, and your painting will be completely protected. And that's why people are using it. They don't want to put their watercolors under glass anymore. They actually want to see that texture of the paper and get a really good look at the color. It will not affect the color at all, but it will waterproof and protect. And even if your painting gets dusty later, you can wipe it off with a wet rag. We just put out a bunch of new Lumiere colors called the Celestial series. These shoes were, Lumiere is a fabric paint, but it's also super flexible and very adhesive, so it's great for leather. These two shoes are actually painted the same color. This green and this blue are the same color. There is a difference between the two. I painted this one black first. So the interference pigment in the paint actually makes painting on black more opaque. So it only took 2 layers to get this opaque green on black, whereas it took more like 5 coats to put the blue on the white. So it's a very counterintuitive thing, but an awesome special effects. If you have a mixed black and white background, the same paint will look different over the course of your surface. And of course, the Lumiere paints are so adhesive and so flexible, you can bend it in half and it will not crack. This stuff won't ever crack as long as you make sure to remove all the waterproofer from your shoe beforehand. We do a lot of photographic chemicals. So the cyanotype is the oldest kind of photography. It's the safest kind of photography. We have a A and B set. This is our best-selling set. It's around $15. I know exactly how many sheets of paper we'll do because I treated them for the show. You can do almost 75 sheets of paper just from this $15 set. So it's one of the best value art supplies you can possibly get. And once you coat the paper, and it works on fabric too. It also works on wood, anything porous that will absorb it. This is a great example of cyanotype. The fabric was coated with the cyanotype chemical, and then this my friend's grandmother's wedding dress was put over it. And as the light penetrated through it, almost looks like an X-ray of the dress. It's absolutely beautiful. And then this was her daughter's dress, so this was a way to connect her to her grandmother. And we're seeing more and more of this kind of thing. People love to do memory quilts, and because you can actually print photographs as well. So cyanotype really has an excellent tonal range. You can see the kind of detail you can get with the cyanotype. Now cyanotype is absolutely light fast. It will not fade in the sun, but it is not great. It does not have great wash fastness. It will wash out a little bit at a time every time you wash it. For that, we have an answer, and that is the Solar Fast. So cyanotype is quite easy. You just rinse it with water at the end to finish it off. Solar Fast is a little more complicated. You need to wash it in the washing machine with a detergent to get the dye back out of your white areas. But the best part of this is there are 14 different colors. And so when you get tired of the cyanotype blue, you can use a beautiful brown. We have a purple and red and violet. It's really a versatile product. And it has excellent wash fastness. So no matter how many times you wash this, it will stay in your fabric. It even has limited use on polyester. I can print a photograph on polyester with it. So I say that Solar Fast is great for fashion. Cyanotype is great for art. And I think the only other thing I would like to tell you about is we have a new set of acid dyes that are fluorescent colors. So most dyes don't have fluorescent colors, but the acid dyes, which are for silk, wool, and nylon, people are even printing nylon 3D printed parts. They're dyeing them with this dye. But the great thing is we have a whole line of fluorescent colors, and fluorescent blue, we're the only company that makes a fluorescent blue acid dye. So you can see dyes, of course, are always brighter than paints, They are not light fast, unfortunately, but the intensity of the color is really their benefit. And acid dyes are actually some of the brightest dyes that you can ever get. Really great stuff. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope I told you about some things you'd be interested in.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Tang. I'm representing Ohuhu today, and this is our brand. We are a marker company in the US right now, and we're selling water-based markers and acrylic markers as well. And I would like to start with our acrylic markers. So one of our biggest challenges entering the market was figuring out a way to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. And we decided to start with a dual tip, because who doesn't like 2 markers for the price of 1? So if you look over here, a lot of people like to judge a marker by its opaqueness, and ours rival some of the top. And just recently, some person told me that the real test is the white. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out and show that on camera, and hopefully it captures it. There you go. And that's our white on this series, on the dual tip series, and I'll do the other side as well. You get a fine tip, which is really nice. If you're working on different surfaces, you gotta get into the fine work. This is great for that. And then coming over, we wanted to do more. Just one acrylic marker, just a little bit of innovation is not enough. So we wanted to have a cotton core base one. Now, why do you want a cotton core base acrylic? Don't you want to shake it? No, because the original markers, they always have to prime it, and it sucks because when you get it out the box, you have to go this every time to kind of get the ink flowing. And if you don't use them for a while, that's also the case. But with this cotton core, it comes straight out the box, ready to use. And just like that, it's also dual tip. Look at that. Now, so this is great, but the only downside is it's prone to user error. So I recommend if you get these acrylic markers, make sure you store them flat, or you may get ink piling on one side or the other. So that's an important thing to note. Now, because of that problem, we have a solution. This is a no prime shake marker. And how we've done that is with this tip that's feeling like a brush, and out the box, you don't have to prime it. We're right on the paper, immediately ready to use. And on top of that, we offer a ink window so that everybody who buys these markers can see how much they got left before they have to resupply. And that covers kind of like the 3 main lines that I like to talk about. Oh, and of course, the dual tips doesn't offer an ink window, and manufacturing side, we had to figure out a way to kind of give the customers what they want, right? So we also have the same tips, but split into 2 pens with an ink window that also kind of works like this, but you have to pump it. Some people like it, so. And then coming over here, I'd like to show you our water-based markers. So I like to highlight this Pube series because this is paper friendly. Now, what does that mean? The main problem with water-based markers is that if you go over and color with it, it can fray the paper and kind of like rip the paper. However, this, with our ink, we can go over and over and over again, 3 or 4 times the regular ink without the paper compromising. And that's the biggest thing about this series. Now, if you're not using it for coloring, you're using it for journaling, we have something for that as well. Our first series is a dual tip system that features a dot. So if you're journaling and you want to make bullet points, you can do that. And it'll allow you to kind of be really creative with where you're going. And you can also color with it. But the other side, right out the gate, you can write, hi. And you can do fine points and write your thoughts down, your stresses on the day, and it'll melt away. And that's our dual tip pens for water-based. And then we have a different series. We have a magic marker. Now what makes this magic is we have a chisel side. This allows you to highlight a box or roll that you like to use. And then you can switch over to a contrasting color that pops on the ink itself. And right there, take your time, and it's gonna make a fun addition to your journaling needs. And so that's the magic marker and water-based line. And yeah. So for this, we have up to 90 colors right now, and we're always working to improve more. And for the water base, 16. 60 colors and 16. So
these are 60.
Yep. And then we're always, I want to keynote, if the audience wants it, we're always going to add more. So this is only the beginning.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm here in the Hahnemühle booth, and we're going to talk to Michelle about some of their new watercolor sketchbooks. They have a great line of 100% cotton watercolor in sketchbooks. So we're going to talk to Michelle about those.
Hello, my name is Michelle Montez and I work with Hahnemühle Paper. Hahnemühle is a 441-year-old company. It's a paper mill in Dassel, Germany, and they started making paper in 1584. We make all kinds of fine artist papers and products. One of our newest products is the Deckled Edge watercolor book. This is actually a journal that is hardbound, and it has 3 deckled edges. We have 3 different sizes, and they come in different variations. So we have the 6x8 in landscape and portrait. We have the 4x6 in landscape and portrait, and then we have a square that's 5x5. And you can see here, this is a very nice watercolor that a German artist had painted while we were at the Creative World in Germany. So you can see how beautiful it is, and it has the rooster embossed in the back. So that's our newest product. So we also have an alternative papers that we make. Hahnemühle has a Green Rooster program. So this is from the Green Rooster Initiative. These are papers that we take fibers from other industries. Instead of them throwing it in the landfill or burning them, we take the fibers that they don't use and we make paper. So my favorite one is the agave. When the tequila industry is finished with the product making tequila, we make paper, and now you can have a paint and sip. We also do it with the sugarcane industry, the bamboo industry. We have a bamboo sketch and mixed media. We also do it with hemp. We have a hemp sketch. And all of these papers are available in local stores near you.
I am home from Seattle, and as you probably could tell from that last introduction for Michelle, I worked that 2.5-day trade show pretty hard. And despite what I thought was a valiant effort, I didn't end up seeing everybody I wanted or videotape all the items I was hoping to videotape. As a result, talk about a few things that caught my attention. We'll start with Caran D'Ache. The well-respected Geneva-based art supply company has released another first, the Neo Art 6901 Pastels. This is a unique wax and oil pastel that is exceptionally light fast. They say it's rated for up to 100 years. There is 48 total colors. 75% of them are either mono or bipigmentary. The wax oil mix makes these great for dry, powder-free, non-crumbling applications with a satin finish. The wax oil mix also makes for the right consistency to work on a wide range of materials, including papers, cardboards, canvas, glass, even wood. And as you might see here, I actually have a set of those. So if you're thinking that possibly you might see these again, that might be a good thought. They look to be really cool, and I thought I'd put them to an initial test right here. So I have paper. I don't have glass, but I have some plexiglass. I have some matte board, and I have some wood, and we're just gonna play with a few colors on those to see what they have. As you can see, I have the 24 color set, and they are super pigmented. They can make some really great colors. This is actually Bristol Smooth, which you've seen I've used in the last few videos, and it would not be the go-to paper for pastels. It doesn't have hardly any tooth, but you can see there, this stuff like just sticks to it like crazy. And now plexiglass. It's a little interesting on the plexiglass, but it does stick on it, which is pretty unusual. I don't think most do. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're doing anything on something transparent, sometimes the cool side is actually that side. And so you can see that you probably could do something cool. And then we got some matte board, which I think would probably be a good fit for something like this. And again, You can get just an incredible color range there. And then wood, right onto wood, no treating, nothing. You just go right onto it. So this isn't exactly a soft pastel. It feels pretty hard. But despite that, it has enough to it that you can really go down and on all these materials and get some really wonderful colors. So anyway, I'm looking forward to actually trying these some more. I just pulled them out for you guys now, and you're seeing them all right here. I think that there's a lot of potential to these colors. Another thing about these is 44 of these colors are in common with the Caran D'Ache Luminous 6901 color pencils. So these can make a great companion material for those color pencils. These NeoArts can also adhere to other materials such as watercolor or inks, so they can also be used in a much larger mixed media project. Gamblin Artist Colors have added to their range of oil paint mediums with their new Gamblin 3-in-1. This is Gamblin's leanest oil painting medium, making it great for prepping wood panels, underpainting, or oiling out a dry area on a painting. This can be a great tool for practicing the thick over lean painting practice. For wood panels, it can be applied as a primer before you apply a ground, or you can actually paint right on top of it. When using the Gamblin 3-in-1 for oiling out a painting, it can make for a more consistent surface quality and increase the color saturations. Yasutomo had a cool sumiengashi kit. Did I pronounce that right? Sumiengashi is the Japanese art of water marbling using liquid sumi ink dripped into water to create beautiful marbling patterns. After you're done with your pattern, you can then pull a print onto paper. It is pretty cool. The kit comes with 2 dishes, 2 brushes, sumi ink, 10 sheets of hashio paper, a tray, and instructions. Almost everything you need except for water. Yasutomo also combined their classy silver point stylus with their mineral paper into a kit. This makes for the perfect combination since you can use silver point on this amazing mineral paper without a primer or a ground. Draw like the old masters. ColArt's Winsor Newton has introduced professional watercolor revival colors. This is a series of 8 historical colors that were used by the old masters. Winsor Newton has worked to reintroduce them in the same vibrancy but with a new formulation that has better permanence and is safer for the artist. They can be purchased in tubes, half pans, or sets. The colors include Ardoin Hue, Cinnabar Green, Fields Orange, Mineral Gray, Ostwald Gray, Tyrant Purple, Ultramarine Ash, and Viridian Hue. ColArt's Liquitex has introduced a new Liquitex bio-based acrylic that has replaced 50% of the formerly petrol-based ingredients with renewable biological sources. This will make a product that's more sustainable. ExaClair has introduced a new line of the blocks watercolors, oils, dry pastels, and pigments. These products use hand-ground pigments that are made on a slow-rotating stone mill. This new line of pro-level supplies is a new part of the ExaClair's exceptional line of products. Sakura has added to their very popular Pigma Micron line with a new brush sketch pen. This new pen has a nib that fits between the semi-flexible Pigma Micron PN nib and the Pigma Micron brush. It offers more feedback than the brush and more robustness, I believe, and much more flexibility than the PN nib, making it ideal for illustrative styles where you want a thin to moderate size marks. This new line is starting with a handful of colors that look to be really vivid, as you'd expect from Sakura. Holbein was showing off their limited edition 30th anniversary wood color pencil set. It's made from a box from forced thin wood for sustainability. Pentel is showing off their Matte Hop Hybrid Gel Roll Pens. Matte finish opaque ink, which is vivid on a variety of papers, including coated papers and photographs. And finally, R&F, the makers of encaustic paints and pigment sticks, showed me a brand new product that fits in with their current line. but they swore me to secrecy. Just to keep an eye, so just keep an eye on them. They should be announcing it soon, and it's really cool. Check it out. That gives you a bit of an overview of what the industry is doing. Lots of fun art supplies are coming. I am sure I did not get to everything. It was a huge show. Beyond that, there are 3 topics that kept coming up, and I'm guessing you probably can guess what the first one is. Tariffs. In a nutshell, no one knows how this is going to pan out yet. It was assumed it would affect much of the industry, since even the manufacturers that make their products in the United States, many rely on materials that they acquire from overseas, such as pigments, fibers, or even mediums. The second subject was the closing of Cheap Joe's Art Supplies, one of the huge online retailers. On the top of that, there was Joann Fabrics chain that also is shutting down. As much as that shocked me, then I found out there's a bunch of independents that are shutting down. So if you have a local art supply store that you like, please show them some love right now. They really need it. Yes, many can't compete directly in price with the online, but you have to remember the value equation here. You get to see the products in person, such as brushes and canvases and colors. Makes a huge difference. You also usually get much better customer service in a store. Shopping in an art supply store is fun, and you'll almost always see something that you didn't know you needed. That doesn't happen online, come on. And you never have to pay for shipping. The final bit of news is that one of the industry's biggest distributors is closing down. This distributor sold many of the products from the manufacturers I showed you here to smaller art supply stores that couldn't afford to buy directly. This is going to further put a pinch on these small independent art supply stores. Again, show them some love. It is my opinion that this closure will make getting a range of art supplies harder for some amount of time. One of the big ones is that this distributor sold 2 of the biggest stretched canvas lines that were available. So I think finding stretched canvases might be a little challenging for the meantime. I'm sure that the manufacturers and other distributors will be taking up the slack really soon, but it may take a month or 2. Despite all this bad news, the industry is still vibrant, progressive, and making some great art supplies. The energy on the floor was really good, and I was really pleased to see all the people I knew and all the new products that were being shown. And again, I'm sure there's more that I didn't even cover. It was a big show. I hope you found this view into the art material industry's largest U.S. trade show interesting. Let us know if any of these new items excite you in the comments below. I included links to all these companies in the show notes so you can go track them down and see all the things that they're coming out with. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. It is free to you and it helps us out a lot. You can also check out one of these 2 videos. They'll be coming up right here. Otherwise, go make some art.